Well, you suddenly realize I'm hungry, but I don't want to go in the big dining room. What do? You head to the buffet. Well, you've heard a lot of things about buffets, especially with the virus. You don't want to get sick. So I'm going to provide 8 items not to eat from the buffet, which may help you. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, Grandma Bev here. I'm live with Grandma Bev and welcome back. I hope you've watched all my other series. Take one a day and watch it. Just get prepared for your cruise. Got to take advantage of the wealth of information that people have in their heads. Today we're going to do 8 things not to eat at the cruise ship buffet. Well, they've gotten better because since a virus hit, they've been a lot more careful about just letting people walk up and, oh, I don't like that, and putting it back or things like that. But just be aware that there are still lines now that are allowing people to pick their own food, carry hand sanitizer. So after you've touched those spoons, if you're dishing it yourself, you can, before you eat. All right, here's something that I don't eat anyway. But number 1 is sushi. And I'm sure all of you have had some delicious sushi on board the ships. But in the buffet, the things are going to sit out a little bit longer. Just don't gamble with the freshness. Especially the longer you've been on your ship. You don't want to eat something that might be a little rancid. Soft serve ice cream cones. Now, the problem with those, and I've always felt that way about them, everybody walks up, and so it's coming out of this dirty thing, it's been accumulating bacteria, the people, who knows where their hands have been, who are coming up and touching it. So then you walk up, do the same thing. To avoid the ick factor, as I call it, use a napkin in your hand, pull up. You're still going to take a chance on the germs, that are in the thing, but dessert during the day. If you're concerned about avoiding a few extra pounds, try limiting your dessert intake to dinner time only. That's what I try to do, but it's hard to pass up all those cookies when you pass by them and you see these, especially peanut butter cookies. The more sugar you eat, the more you're going to want, yeah. If you wait until the last meal of the day to indulge in sweets, you'll have bedtime to eliminate the cravings before the following day. My pages got mixed up here. Communal condiments. Giant bottles of ketchup, mustard, and other condiments, they breed germs because so many people touch them. Ask the buffet staff if they can add on your condiments for you or add individual single-serve packets. If both are a no-go, use a napkin, pick up stuff and squeeze it out, but it's still going to have some gunk and stuff, Compromised food. If you notice that, always be aware, like I say, if you notice that people maybe ahead of you have touched things or put things back or, coughed or stuff, I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't eat that. I wouldn't use that utensil. I wouldn't eat that food. You can alert a crew member and avoid taking any of the potentially contaminated dishes till they've been replaced with fresh ones. They may think you're being picky, but it's your body, More than one plate at a time. Well, no need. You can go back for more. Because once you've got all that stuff on your plate, then you're walking through to look for a place to sit. And the airborne stuff is floating around, It's like, you can always go back for additional helpings. Let's see, what did I... Oh, here's another one that they talk about. Scrambled eggs. That vat of scrambled eggs you see on the buffet breakfast each morning is likely powdered eggs. and powdered eggs can often be wet and or squishy. Instead, opt for a made-to-order egg like the omelets. Don't just eat the egg whites, eat the egg yolks too. Egg yolks won't raise cholesterol, that's what we've been taught now. And they contain good fats, which help stabilize blood sugar early in the day. Please consider there's really no way to know how long that tub of raw egg or powdered egg whites has been sitting right out there next to the grill. How many people have, or ask for an omelet or your own special order of eggs over easy or things like that, where you know they have to use an egg, not powder. Old pizza. No, they always up like around the cruise deck, the pool decks have pizza parlors or places where you can get pizza. Sometimes that pizza's sitting out there a while. So if it looks congealed at all, congealed cheesy look, it's probably been sitting for a while. Don't feel bad about asking for a new pie or heading to the onboard pizza shop for a slice. Now we're going to get to the subject of food poisoning. Let me take a drink before that. And you may assume that anything you eat on the ship has to be germ-free, fresh. I'm an example. I have gotten food poisoning on several ships. One of my first times was, let me scoop myself up on this pillow a little bit better. It was I think it was our second cruise we took. And the night before we were due back in port, I ate some cheesecake. Now you figure the longer you're on that ship, if you haven't seen them loading more food and stuff on some of the different ports, the stuff's getting old. I woke up during the night sick as a dog. And they want us to get off the ship. I could hardly stand up and move. Found out there were about 9 people who got sick, food poisoning during the night, and it was from this particular cheesecake that we had all had. So they let us stay on as long as we could. They took us off in wheelchairs. Now imagine my husband's family were there to greet us because we were getting off in LA before flying back home to Seattle. And here comes me in a wheelchair. Oh, that was a lost day. The cruise line, they did compass for 2 more cruises because of that. At first they did 1, and I said, well, what if I didn't plan on taking a cruise for a while, and I always bring my husband? So they gave us 2 free cruises. Each of us got our next cruise free. They put us up in a really nice hotel that had a separate bedroom. So when we got to the hotel, I was deposited in the bedroom, and my husband could sit and visit with his daughters and parents and stuff. But whew, was I sick. But that's a way to lose the 10 pounds you've gained. Another time, you got to be careful in cruise ports too that you're in, because another time in Venice, I had what looked like a good pasta dinner in this out-of-way place. I spent the night on the floor in the bathroom of the hotel room. And of course, I didn't want to tell them that I'm feeling sick when I went on the ship because they might not let me on. And I knew it was food poisoning. So we had to take a little boat over to where the ship was. Oh, the rock, and I was never so glad to get in that cabin. I threw myself on the bed and stayed there for the first day. But once you've gotten the food poisoning, especially that early in the trip, you're going to feel crappy for several days. Another time, I had ice cream off the ship in a port. I won't say which port. And same thing that night. it ruined a whole day of my cruising. I couldn't get off the ship in the next port the next day. So the gist of this is be careful what you eat when you're off the ship too. If you eat at places that don't typically serve ice cream, and that's my mistake. It was more of a food place. And so who knows how old that ice cream was, It's like, and be careful what you eat on the plane too. I got sick from ice cream, I'm sure, on the plane on the way home one time. But I lost the 10 pounds, like I say. I usually gain about 10 pounds on a cruise. But, you've got to be so careful. Sometimes as careful as I am, I'll still get sick. So always bring some supplies with you too, in case you do get sick, like diarrhea medicine, nausea medicine, all that kind of stuff. It's just too much TMI. But I don't want you guys to have a cruise ruined because maybe you weren't real careful with what you ate. So I think that's pretty much covers the eating stuff. So comment below, share, like, and subscribe. And if you've had any experience with particular eating things on the ships, let me know. Excuse me, so I know to be careful of those. I love you all, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Bye.